Hi, I'm Michaela. For my proactive prompt, I selected You have created your community. How do you maintain this on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis? I use daily check in and check out circles with my students. A check in circle has several different purposes. We start with an affect check so students can express how they're feeling that morning. We have fun, get to know you questions that help students feel more comfortable expressing themselves around each other and allow us to get to know each other in a more laid back fashion. We also engage in goal setting where students will pick something that they want to work on for that day. And then they have the support of the rest of the students in the circle to help them meet that goal. We also use these check in circles to recognize milestones, such as personal accomplishments or birthdays, and we address any current events happening outside the classroom. In my community, we struggle with a large amount of gun violence, and that impacts a lot of my students. So we'll take time in our check in circles to process through anything that has impacted an individual student. At the end of the day, we meet back and have a checkout circle where we reflect on our successes and struggles from that day. And we go back and reevaluate the goal that we set in the morning and determine if we were successful or not in meeting that goal. I also maintain community using affective language. I make sure that I give very specific compliments instead of just telling a student, hey, you did a great job today. I'll say something like, hey, I'm very proud of how much work you accomplished today and the amount of effort you put in. And that helps strengthen the connection between me and that student and goes a long way towards maintaining that community. My responsive prompt was a student displays chronic misbehavior in the classroom, bus, lunchroom, etc. In that situation, I would use an impromptu conversation. I would pull the student one on one and we would go through the restorative questions together. So I would ask the student what happened, what they were thinking about at the time, and who they have impacted by their actions. I would help them work through and think through each of those questions while making sure that I express concern. I would make sure to emphasize that I know that student to be a good person. So their behavior is making me feel concerned. And that helps separate the doer from the action. I can reaffirm their value as a human being while still recognizing that their behavior is not appropriate and could indicate that they're struggling with something. We know that sometimes negative behaviors are brought on as an inappropriate response to shame. So, if I can help students identify the cause of what's making them feel that way, we can address it directly instead of seeing these behaviors. I would also, in that same impromptu conversation, pull some of the strategies from a restorative conference and help that student determine what they could do to make things right and what plan we could work on together to help them regulate their emotions and their behavior more effectively. In a severe case, I might use a restorative conference, but only if the behavior was extreme or impacted a large amount of people. And depending on the student's comfort level, it is something I might address in a classroom circle so that their classmates can become involved in supporting them in their new plan to address their behavior and whatever harm they might have caused.